What is up, everybody? Welcome into this Tuesday episode of Flippin Bats. If you don't know by my shirt, this week in Shohei Ohtani news is happening today. We also got Honesty Hour. I got something I need to sound off on today. And name that team. Let's go. This one's going to be a blast. Let's get to it.
It's a blowout. 8th inning, 10-3. Bases are loaded for Verlander, who waits out the 3-0 pitch. He swings, and it's a high fly ball. Deep center field. It is gone. Home run. And a huge bat flip to celebrate. All right, Ben, start the show already.
What's up, my friends? I am joined, as always, by Alex Curry. Today is going to be a fun one. As I mentioned, whenever I'm wearing this shirt, you just know it's This Week in Ohtani News. So we're going to have a fun episode today. We have that. We also have a few more things. As I mentioned, Honesty Hour. I'm going to sound off about the New York Mets and something that I believe they should be doing that they're not doing. And also name that team. Alex, I heard today of the three that there's a chance I get 0 and maybe 1.
You know what? I feel like when you're told you're not going to do well, you do your best. And when we tell you you're going to get them all, that's when you struggle.
Is that why you're now telling me that you're trying to get back in my head because I was told I'm not going to get any? So stick around for that. In a little while, name that team. See if you can get more than I can. We'll see. But, yeah, it'll be fun.
It's going to be fun. But I think my new favorite part of Tuesday now is that we're starting off with our new segment, Honesty Hour. And I got to know because, you know, Mets are off to an average 5-5 start. What do you want to be honest about here with the Mets?
Let's put ourselves in the trust tree.
Okay, we're here.
It's time for Honesty Hour.
I'm on the branch.
And what I need to say today is that the New York Mets need to call up their young guys. Call up the prospects. Play your prospects. I know Francisco Alvarez just got called up because why? Well, he was forced into it. A catcher, Narvaez, ends up getting hurt. Next thing you know, Alvarez needs to come up, but he doesn't even play the first couple of days he's up. He finally gets an opportunity to play on Sunday, and his first hit, guess what? RBI knock. But it doesn't just stop with him. Brett Baty in the minor leagues. Ronny Mauricio. I need to talk about all these guys. First off, Francisco Alvarez, coming into this year, was the number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball. The top prospect in the game of baseball. Let me list you the top 5 coming into this year, okay? Grayson Rodriguez was number 5. Big leaguer now, starting pitcher, Orioles. Number 4, Andrew Panter, injured. Anthony Volpe, number 3. Opening day starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. Jordan Walker for the Cardinals, number 2. Everyday outfielder now. He's been great. Number 1, Francisco Alvarez. Starts the year in the minor leagues. They don't really want to bring him up. They're forced to bring him up. And then they said he's going to be our backup catcher. I don't get it. Why? He's the number 1 prospect in baseball. Give him an opportunity. If you're going to have him up, give him an opportunity. And it's not like the Mets lineup is firing on all cylinders right now. As you mentioned, they're playing right around 500 baseball. They're not exactly killing it. You have Brett Baty down in the minor leagues hitting well over 300, an OPS well over 1,100. Brett Baty should have made the opening day roster, but they ended up going with Eduardo Escobar over at third base, who's hitting 129 on the year. Not been good. Brett Baty, 400, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. In AAA, the guy's tearing it up. He's exactly what this lineup needs. There are holes in this Mets lineup, and they have patches for these holes, and they're just not filling them. Escobar over at third base. I love the guy, but last year and now to start this year, it hasn't been great. Thomas Nido behind the plate, batting 125. You're now everyday catcher if Alvarez is going to be the backup. Nido's hitting 125. You have an outfield hole, most likely left field. Here's my thought with Ronny Mauricio. This is the last guy I want to talk about. Alvarez, Brett Baty, who I think should be up right now. Alvarez, who I think should be the starting catcher. Ronny Mauricio, another guy tearing it up in the minor leagues. But guess what? His position's shortstop. We all might know this. The shortstop position for the New York Mets is going to be taken for a long, long time to come from Francisco Lindor. So why is this guy still playing shortstop in the minor leagues? I don't get it. He tore it up in spring training. You know he's not going to be your big league shortstop. Move him to second base. Try him in the outfield. Do something. I don't understand. So what you could do if you're the Mets, and obviously you can't just bring him up and put him in a different position, start playing him at second base. Next thing you know, you can put Jeff McNeil in the outfield, or put Mauricio in the outfield and see how he does out there. The guy's an athlete. I know he's tearing it up in the minor leagues. You have holes at the big league level, and it just feels like they're continuing to not patch those holes. And the last point I want to make is with Brett Baty. They've consistently been asked about Brett Baty. Why? Because he had a great spring training. He's tearing it up in AAA. And they said, and I quote, "It would be unfair to call up Brett Baty before getting him more reps in the minor leagues, especially defensively." I'm going to be honest. I played minor league baseball. And if anybody said, "Do you want to get called up or would it be unfair to you?" I'd be like, what do you mean? Call me up. Let's do this. Unbelievable. It'd be unfair to him. He's dominating. Brett Baty, I tweeted this the other day when he had like a four knock game. Brett Baty sure does look like an everyday big leaguer, batting about 400 with 2 homers through the first 15 at bats in the minor leagues. Honesty hour, the New York Mets have some issues offensively, and I feel like they have the holes. They just need to do what other organizations are showing that they do, and believe in your guys. Believe in them. Call them up, let them play, and see how it goes.
Yeah, when you're not living up to expectations, because let's be honest here, we're in the trust tree. Mets had huge expectations coming into this season. Probably one of the teams with the biggest expectations with all the offseason acquisitions that they made and just the payroll and the roster that they've put together. And when you only have 2 guys on your team hitting above 250, this is your time. This is when you take the risk, as you mentioned, taking a chance on these young guys, believing in them. You have the number 1 prospect in Major League Baseball. Take the chance. Take a risk. What's going to happen?
Take a chance.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, we see other organizations in the way they're going about things. Look at the Seattle Mariners last year and their ability to say, "We're calling up our number 1 prospect on opening day. We know he's going to be good. Go at it." And it just feels like the Mets are a team that doesn't do it until it's like, well, you could have done this all year.
Your hand is forced.
Like, believe in your guys, allow them to play a full season in the big leagues, and then come playoff time, they're not like trying to prove themselves. You got guys that have played all year long at their position, and you know they're believed in. Like, I don't know. I would just like to see them in the. It's not like this was kind of my thought in spring training. Brett Baty should have made the team. He was the clear best option, right? And now the season has started. We're over a weekend, not a ton of time, but Escobar's not been great. Thomas Nido, now the starting catcher, has not been great. They have an outfield spot that's available. I wish they would do it, and it feels like other teams around the league have done it.
Yeah.
And are saying, you know what, we're just going to bring our guys up. And the Mets, to this point, have not been one of them, and I think they should be.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, from Honesty Hour, let's get out of the trust tree.
Okay.
And move on to my favorite segment of all time, my friends. It is time for This Week in Shohei Ohtani News. We're going to talk about his week on the mound, his week at the plate, some things he's doing outside the foul lines, maybe an AL MVP conversation, and the new samurai helmet that the Angels use to celebrate home runs.
I love it.
Let's start with his pitching. On the mound, obviously his first start of the year ended up going really well after a slower start. This start was kind of the same. Took him 2 to 3 innings to really get going in this outing against the Mariners, and it was that first inning really could have gone poorly very quickly. Walked a couple of guys, seemed to get into some trouble, and then worked his way out of that trouble. Second and third innings, still not really himself. Ends up working out of it, becomes the dominant Shohei that we have come to know and love, and ends up settling in and dominating for 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, 110 pitches, and got the W on the mound. So what I like to see here is this was almost a continuation of what we saw from Shohei last year, whereas if he got in trouble, he was able to figure it out and work out of it. Shohei, from the first couple of years in the big leagues, if he doesn't have his stuff, he's out of that game in the second or third inning. And he certainly had that stuff early on in the game. Well, he had his stuff, but he was a little all over the place with it. That was an outing where previously in years past, he's not getting out of that third inning. He's going to continue to walk guys, but he figured it out and really locked in, was throwing 101, punching guys out, started finding his command. He was nasty on the mound, 110 pitches, the most this year in his 2 starts, and ended up driving in a run after his 110th pitch, struck out the 8th guy, went up to the plate and drove in a run. It was an unbelievable game.
It was great, and it's always awesome for him to get that first win, especially after having the outing he did in his first start to then actually get the win in the second. But there was a moment in this game that was probably one of my favorite Shohei Ohtani moments. Pretty sure you saw it.
Yep.
He was talking to the ump just outside of the dugout. Ohtani decides to then reach into the umpire's ball pouch without asking and tosses a ball to the pitcher on the mound of the opposing team. Now, I am pretty sure Shohei Ohtani is the only player in Major League Baseball who can get away with something like this. And it was absolutely hilarious.
The turn of the umpire, you're just like, wait.
Huh?
Okay. That
happened.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, that pitching-wise, he was dominant.
Yes.
And has continued to start this year off great. Offensively, he throws that 110th pitch, gets the strikeout, and then next thing you know, he comes up to the plate, drives in the 4th run of the game, and I think at the time that made them go up 4-1 in the ballgame. They ended up winning 4-3. So that added insurance run ended up being huge for them in that game. And then just this week in general, offensively, man, I called it in this segment, I believe last week. I called how big I think the shift would be for him batting average-wise. Man, the guy's hitting over 330 this year to start the year, over 320 at the plate on the week, 3 homers, 6 RBIs. On Sunday, we saw him hit a ball. Man, I loved seeing this. There was a ball off of the plate, a ball inside, and he hit it opposite field, out for a homer, deep left center field. When Shohei Ohtani is going at his best, we see this, what we see in this video right now. He will inside out a ball and drive it into that left center field gap. When I see this, when I see Shohei doing things like we just saw right there, that's when you know he's locked in. And he's locked in at the plate right now. Last 7 days has been off the charts. And, yeah, he's locked in on both the mound and at the plate right now.
You have to imagine that the WBC was a huge part of him almost coming into the start of the season feeling like he's in mid-season form. Because, as you watched, they won the WBC, Team Japan. He was the MVP. He was absolutely incredible during the WBC and then just carried it right into the start of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think, you know, the WBC in years past kind of had a little bit of a stigma about it, but I really think we're seeing a lot of guys come in super locked in
who played
to the regular season. I mean, look at what Trout's doing so far. Look at a ton of the big stars that played in the WBC doing really well. So at the plate, offensively, really good this week. On the mound, another dominant start, but I really liked what I saw there because we know more often than not Shohei's going to have his stuff from the very beginning of the game. But this one he didn't, and he found a way to work around it. Another first. Shohei's a guy full of firsts, right? Well, Shohei Ohtani continued that theme this week. Shohei became what will now forever be etched in history, the first player ever to have a pitch clock violation on the mound and at the plate in the exact same game. And again, we mentioned the WBC and how that's affected him. I really think that could have affected him here as well. Look, the WBC didn't have the pitch clock, right? So he's pitching in the World Baseball Classic, at the plate in the World Baseball Classic, while all these other players are at spring training learning about the pitch clock. Well, Shohei didn't exactly have that. And now in his second game of the year, he's out there on the mound taking too long and gets the violation, and then getting in the box taking too long, gets the violation. First player ever. I don't think it will be the last because I think we'll see a position player pitch at some point in a blowout and probably get one as well. But just a man of firsts, Alex.
Yeah, which we love. Thank you, Ohtani.
Alex, do you think it's too early in the year to have an AL MVP conversation?
No, not at all.
It's absolutely not too soon to have an AL MVP conversation, because what I want to do throughout this entire season is kind of give an update on how Shohei is doing, which I do every week in This Week in Ohtani News, but also how some other players from around the league are doing. And when you talk about AL MVP, who's in that conversation with Shohei? Who's doing really well? Who needs to be worried about if you're a fan of Shohei and rooting for him to win the AL MVP? Well, I'll tell you. Right now, probably, if the season ended right now, it'd probably be Shohei's. But another guy that right now would probably be neck and neck, because it's been very close, is Adam Duvall. Adam Duvall so far this year, batting .455 with 4 homers and 14 RBIs. He has been tearing the cover off the ball. Now, on Sunday, unfortunately, Adam Duvall got pretty, I don't want to say, it appeared pretty bad. Dove for a ball out in center field and appeared to pretty badly injure his already surgically repaired wrist. So who knows what's going to happen there, but no matter what, big blow so far to the Red Sox lineup that he's been the bright spot for that team. He's been so good to start the year, and his stats so far are showing just that. Another guy, Mike Trout, his teammate. Trout has been so good to start the year, and it's just on the heels of hitting 40 homers last year when he didn't play like a third or fourth of the season. He's already hitting .379 on the year with 3 homers and 8 RBI. He was the first player on the Angels to put on that samurai helmet when he hit a home run at home. He keeps attacking that truck out in left center field at Angel Stadium. I don't know what that truck did to him, but the first 2 games of the season at home, he took aim right at it. So, he's been dominating. Mike Trout's certainly in that conversation. Another guy would be Aaron Judge, who on Sunday hit 2 home runs. Aaron Judge is now right back in, it's the beginning of the season, but home run total-wise, he wasn't up there with the league leaders. However, Sunday, 2 home runs. Now he's 1 off the lead, hitting well over 300 as well. He's hitting .364 with 4 home runs on the year. Aaron Judge right there in that conversation. And lastly, one that comes to mind is Yordan Alvarez. Yordan has, 14 RBI in 9 games to start the year, 9 or 10, I think. Sunday made 10 games, batting .281, 3 homers, and 14 RBIs. Hit a grand slam the other day. So that's kind of Shohei's competition to this point. But what Shohei does that all of these other guys don't do is pitch. And I know I might be barking up the same old tree there, but for somebody else to take the MVP award away from Shohei, who is the big favorite to win it for a reason, you have to do something like what Aaron Judge did last year, which is break the all-time AL record. Do I think that happens this year? I don't. So as of right now, I think Shohei is the sitting favorite to win the AL MVP award.
Oh, I'm with you. It's how do you compete with a guy that plays 2 positions and is top tier in both 2 positions?
Well, you would say it's unfair, but the guy has put in so much work in his life
his whole
be able
life
to do what
to
he
be
does.
here.
So it's not unfair at all. He's earned every bit of the success
Yes,
he's having.
he has.
So, last part of This Week in Shohei Ohtani News, probably my favorite part, the samurai helmet that Shohei Ohtani has brought to this Angels team. They don't have a cowboy hat celebration anymore. They have a samurai helmet celebration. Alex,
what an upgrade.
I love it. Here it is here. We saw Shohei Ohtani for the first time on Sunday. Got to wear this thing. I'm in love with it. I think it's awesome. Alex, I feel like you will as well, but I did a little bit of research on this thing as well.
Okay.
So I have all the news that I didn't even know I need. The article that I read was in Japanese.
Okay.
So I translated the article and was able to put a few things together. First off, it's made in Japan.
Cool.
It's manufactured by Murataki, an armor workshop in Kagoshima.
Ooh. So it's real.
It's real.
Ooh.
And it has a cost of about 330,000 yen, which you might say, Ben, how much is that in American dollars?
Yeah.
$2,500.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
He splurged.
So
I
what
love
we're
it.
saying is, don't drop it.
No.
Just keep it safely on your head. I love it. Shohei Ohtani brought this and was the one that made this happen for the Angels. We saw Trout wear it the other day. We saw Shohei get to wear it for the first time on Sunday. And it is an expensive piece of headwear.
Huge upgrade. And I love that he's also bringing more of the Japanese culture into the clubhouse, into the dugout, and for all of us fans to get behind and enjoy and embrace, and it's beautiful.
I think it's just been the perfect, like, over the last couple of years, how much have we seen the, like, love and respect for Japan and the U.S. and the NPB and Major League Baseball seemingly get, like, so much more. I feel, and maybe it's just me because I'm so immersed in it, but I find myself talking about NPB players all the time, and Murakami and Sasaki, and I feel like we know as much as we know about those players because of Shohei and what he's been able to do over here. And he's like bridged that gap between the two and made it so like, oh, we hear about these players in the NPB. Like, well, if they're anything like Shohei, like these guys could be the real deal. And they absolutely could be. And a big part of it is like Shohei doing things like this, just kind of immersing the Japanese culture in over here, and it's been a blast to see.
Yeah, he's grown the game on a global scale, and it's situations and moments like that where now we are aware and we know the regular names, the top names over in Japan. So it's just, he's the best.
Well,
Shohei's the best.
My friends, that does it. I don't know if you saw, we had a new transition into this segment today. It was like an explosion on the screen.
Woo! And it's gone.
And that's how it ends, my friend. That does it for this week in Shohei Ohtani news. I'm nervous.
Why?
Because it's Name That Team time.
Yep.
Team time.
Yep.
Name That Team. And I was told this is a very, very difficult week. So what we're going to do, Alex, you're going to give me, we're still on outfielders. So
we are.
3 outfielders from a specific team where they were drafted out of. So either the high school where they're from, the college, or the country that they were drafted out of. And I'm going to try. We're all going to try. And we, as in us, me, and the listeners, we're all going to try and figure this out. So, yeah, let's do this.
All right. You ready for team number 1?
I hope so.
All right. Team number 1. Left field out of University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Oh, boy.
Center field, Parkland College. And right field, UConn. Name that team.
My only guess here is right field.
Okay.
UConn.
Yep.
So I'm going to guess this is the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Dude.
One for one.
Okay. That was 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That was great.
Parkland College.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm assuming that's, yeah. Okay. This is Kevin Kiermaier there. University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Is that
Dalton
Varsho? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
not
I
bad.
just didn't know that's where he went. I love me some Dalton
Yeah.
Varsho. All right. Got
Ready?
it. Yep.
Let's get you ready for
One for one.
team number 2.
Okay.
Left field out of the Dominican Republic.
Great.
Center field, high school in Texas. And right field, high school in Alabama. Name that team.
A Dominican outfielder and 2 high schoolers. Good
Yep.
luck, Ben. Okay. Let's see. Texas and center field and right field, high school in Alabama.
Yeah.
Dominican left fielder. Who could that be? Oh, wait a second. Could that be who's could be No. Well, no. I was thinking Mariners, but no, Julio wouldn't be. Julio. Dominican left field.
Big name.
Big name? Dominican left fielder, big name left fielder from the Dominican.
7 seconds.
Soto.
3,
No.
2. Give it a guess.
Padres?
Yeah.
What? Yes! At the buzzer!
I know. I was like,
Yes!
he's got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're welcome.
baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I get by with a little help from my friends.
No idea Trent Grisham was a high school out of Texas guy.
Yep.
No
Yep.
idea. Fun.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
before you even said name that team,
Yeah.
my brain starts working.
Yeah.
The first team in my head was Padres. I
Okay.
thought left field, Dominican.
Yeah.
First name that comes to mind
Yeah.
is Juan Soto. But then I looked around and I was just like, I don't think so. But
Always go with your gut.
yeah, you know who I didn't know a ton about?
Huh.
David Dahl, high
Yeah.
school, Alabama. Didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
But shot in the dark.
There you go.
Did it at the buzzer. 2 for 2. Let's go.
All right. Are you ready for team
Yeah.
number 3?
Okay.
Left field out of high school in Georgia. Center field, high school out of Florida. Right field, Notre Dame. Name that
Oh
team.
my God. I should know this. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's a new thinking technique.
No, that's not it. My first thought was Cardinals, but I don't think.
Is it your final
I don't
answer?
think. No, give me a second. Jordan Walker, left field Georgia. I believe that's correct. Center field Florida. Lars isn't playing right now, so it wouldn't. I know he's California. So who do they?
10 seconds.
Right field Notre Dame. Right field. I'm gonna guess.
4.
I'll guess the Cardinals.
Tigers.
Tigers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Riley Green. Who's in right field? Who's the right?
Matt.
Veerling.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Austin Riley, Matt. It's okay. It's your
Dang.
team, too.
Well,
One of them.
Yeah.
One of them.
Dang it.
That's okay.
No, I feel like I
Not
did pretty
bad.
well.
Not bad.
I feel like I did pretty well. Very, very difficult circumstances as well. I don't know what they are. I just made that part
Okay.
up. Circumstances are what they always are. I'll say B+ again.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's what I was going to give you at the buzzer.
Yeah. All right, that was good. Before we wrap up, Alex, little extra innings segment.
Yeah.
And it feels fitting to do this in an episode that has This Week in Shohei Ohtani news because this guy did the ultimate. This pitcher, well, I can't even say that. This player for the University of Indianapolis defeated baseball.
Yes.
He completed baseball. The other day, he threw a no-hitter on the mound while hitting for the cycle in the exact same game.
It's incredible.
Brady Ware, congratulations, my friend. Unbelievable. What a performance. 7 innings, 0 hits, 11 strikeouts, 4 for 4, 5 RBIs at the plate, single, double, triple, home run, no hitter on the mound. Truly remarkable.
Like, has this ever been done before?
I mean, other than like I'm sure in the high school.
Well, I'm like college level. College, professional. Do we think this is ever?
Professional, I would no
No.
doubt
Yeah.
say that it has never happened.
No. I mean, and Shohei would probably be the only person who could do it at this point right now.
He's come close to doing it before, too.
Yeah.
I would say my gut says this has never been done at the college or pro level. Like that's
that
just
is incredible.
That's absurd. So had to mention Brady Ware for an unbelievable performance on the mound. Congratulations, my friend. That is insane. What an absolutely incredible performance. Hats off to you. Had to talk about it. University of Indianapolis with a performance of a lifetime. So that's the extra innings. And that does it for this Tuesday episode of Flippin Bats. Thank you all for listening. What a fun episode. Make sure you're subscribed anywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple or Spotify. Hit that follow button. We're also on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can watch every episode on YouTube as well at Flippin Bats Pod for all of them. Thank you all for listening to this Tuesday episode. Until next time, this has been another episode of Flippin Bats. Peace.